Hi everyone, in this lecture we're going to continue styling the header part. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna grab the hamburger and I'm gonna give it a z-index of 1 because I want it to be on top of all the other elements. Now the default value for z-index, you could think of it as 0 or auto, but you could also have negative values. It's gonna move down. But if you provide it with more positive values, it's going to move up. So let's grab the links themselves. Let's style these links. Jump into HTML. What is their container? Their container is this UL that has that class. So I'm going to grab that class. And I'm going to say display flex. We can see that in our finished website, all of them are sitting horizontally. Now I'm going to provide it with a gap. The gap is going to have a dynamic value. So I'm going to say calc 0.5 rem. So the value of the gap is never going to go below 0.5 rem. That is our fallback. You can think of it like that. And then we're going to say plus 1 VW. 1 VW is one portion of the viewport width. If the viewport is 1000, one portion of that is going to be like 1% of 100%. So it's like 10 pixels. So now you can see that they're sitting nicely next to each other. The reason that we are using that is because keep in mind this gap is actually getting smaller as the window size is getting reduced. And it is getting bigger and bigger. So this is what we want. We want, when we decrease the width of the window, we want these elements to get closer. And when there isn't enough space, we want them to jump into their hamburger menu, see? So when we get to 800, it doesn't look cool anymore, and then we jump into its hamburger menu. Very well. And I want the align items, I want it to be centered. So I want them to be centered vertically. Let's save that. Let's come here. Let's take a look at that. Cool. I'm going to grab the anchor elements within these links because they need some styling as well. So I'm going to say anchor elements. I'm going to increase the font size to 1.5 rem. Keep in mind these are static values. These are the values if we go to 300 or to 3000 pixels, they're going to be the same. And I'm going to say padding 1.5 rem on top. For the top and bottom, and 2.5 rem of padding for left and right. I'm going to give them some border radius. So border radius, it's going to be 0.5 rem all around. So for top left, top right, and bottom left corners, it's going to be 0.5 or 5 pixels. And we're going to transition them all 0.25 seconds. And the timing function is going to be ease and out. There we go. So now you don't see anything now because we didn't actually apply the hover effect. Let's go ahead and let's actually apply the hover effect. So I'm going to grab this entire thing. The reason that I'm copy pasting class names is because it's easier and it doesn't waste that much time. Okay, so I'm going to say background color. When it is in the hover state, I want it to have a color of secondary. There we go. There we go. So that's actually how it is looking. Why is the height that low? There is a little bit more height there. The reason for that is we have not actually provided padding for the container. So beneath here, I'm going to say padding. And we know that we have custom properties for padding. So I'm going to say padding. And I'm going to say small -m-s. which is small. There we go. So this is our hover effect. And you can see these rounded corners. That was the border radius. Now let's go ahead and let's style the registration as well. So I want that to be flexed as well. So you can see how we use flex a lot for smaller components. But when it comes to the general layout, bigger layouts, we use grid. I mean, you can create an entire website with grid, and you can create an entire website with flex. I actually have done that in my Udemy course, It is the modern Flexbox Grid SaaS and Animations developer course. It is a bestseller course. The link is in the description, so go ahead and check it out. It's usually off. It's usually like $10, $11, something like that. So it's extremely affordable. You can buy it. There is a lot of content in there. So there in that course, I've shown my students how you can create an entire website with Flex, with just Flex, and an entire website with just Grid. And then the third and final website of that course is like a combination of SAS, Flexbox, and Grid. And that is basically what I did there. So this website is actually also a combination of the SAS, Grid, but no SAS, just Flexbox and Grid. And you can see that for the general layout, we used a Grid, but for the smaller components, it's easier to use Flex. So for this registration, I'm also going to use Flex. Okay, let's jump into CSS. So I'm going to say display Flex. There we go. And then I'm going to say, let's provide them a gap of 10 pixels or 1 rem. So there is a little bit of gap there. Now I'm going to grab these anchor elements within this registration div, and I'm going to style them a little. You can see this space. This is the Descendant Selector. We talked about it, right? It is used a ton in CSS. So the font size is going to be 1.5 rem. Padding is going to be 1.5 for top and bottom, and 2.5 for left and right. And finally, I'm going to select the second child of this one. You can see this has a different styling. So how can we select the second child? We have talked about pseudo classes, right? So I'm going to say nth child, and I'm going to pass in 2. So that is the second child. I'm going to say background color. This is going to be the secondary color. Secondary. And then the border radius, I'm just going to give it a 0.5 rem of border radius as well. There we go. So here is our style. And I can see how these two websites are beginning to look alike. Now, so far we are done with the desktop version of this. The only thing remaining that we need to do is actually making the window smaller and providing the adjustments for when the window's width is smaller and how we can make this header responsive. Now you might think, okay, this is a small section. Let's design the entire website and then go ahead and make it responsive. I mean, you're not wrong. You're right. You can do that as well, but I prefer thinking of responsiveness right from the start, because as with the idea that I explained to you about not writing the entire HTML and then jumping into CSS, because for the most part what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that HTML. Now the same thing goes for CSS as well. I don't want to end up with sloppy CSS at the end, and then when I have like 20-30 sections, that's a gigantic website, and then I have to think about responsiveness right from the right at the end of that website, and then it is going to overwhelm me to think about all those sections and making them responsive, and I have to think about all of the components within all of these sections. Now the thing that is the most difficult aspect of responsiveness is that there are too many moving elements. Now if you keep it section by section responsive, then the number of those elements will be reduced drastically. But if you keep the entire website from being responsive and you just postpone it to the end, then you're going to end up with a lot more moving elements. So think of it like this. So when we are talking about the header, there are 3 things that we need to really consider. The first one is the thread, the logo, and then we have the links, and then we have the registration. So there are 3 moving elements that we need to keep in mind. But what about this website? So there are 3 there. There is like 4 or 5 in the hero, that is 8. There are like 4 in here. Like you could say like 3 in here, but even though there are 4, and that is so that is 9. There are like 3, 4 in here. That is 13. There are 6 in here. that is 19, and there are like 4 major ones here, that is 23. So you need to keep this in mind, that is it easy to make only 3 elements responsive, 3 moving elements responsive, or 23 or 25 or 30 or 50? Which one is easier? Of course, the less the number of elements, the better the better chance you have to making them responsive. So just make sure you go section by section, even if you're an advanced developer. Just make sure that it doesn't overwhelm you, because this entire thing, if you just make it smaller, everything is going to fall apart. And if you fix one part, the next part is going to fall apart. Then that is going to be especially a nightmare when it comes to responsiveness. Now, what I'm going to do, the design choice that I'm going to make is, when I make the window smaller for this header, I'm going to make it responsive. And when this is done, I'm going to forget it, and I'm going to say, okay, thank God this is responsive. I don't have to think about it anymore. And then I'm going to jump into next sections. So right at the mark of 800, you can see that if I go any smaller, it doesn't look cool. It's a sign in. Everything comes down. Everything falls apart. So at the point of 800, we are going to provide our very first media query for this website. And what do we want to do here is, we want to basically remove all of these links, and we want to provide our hamburger menu. So that's it for this lecture. See you then.